LEGO Castle is one of LEGO's longest-lasting themes, with its origins being traced all the way back to 1978 with the release of the Yellow Castle. Since then, the theme has continued to evolve itself with relaunches of the line bringing new ideas and innovative concepts to the market. It was LEGO's evergreen theme. But in 2013, something happened. After a single, 5-wave line of sets, the theme went silent. Castle sets as we knew them were no longer on the market, gone, with nothing comparable to replace them. But why did this happen, and who is responsible, are all the questions this video plans to answer. Stick with me as I investigate and get to the bottom of who killed LEGO Castle. Before we can figure out who killed LEGO Castle, we have to first travel back to the scene of the crime, Castle 2013. This theme was the last formal castle theme LEGO ever released, so what can this tell us? There are a couple basic things this can tell us, but in order to make any assertions, some basic facts must be laid out first. Think of this like establishing a working motive. First, LEGO is profit-driven. Second, LEGO can produce a limited number of sets each year. Because of this, when a line isn't selling, or performing worse comparatively, LEGO will discontinue it. The motive for killing LEGO Castle was that the theme wasn't selling enough. This is important to bear in mind when establishing a suspects list of what exactly caused LEGO Castle's decline in sales. LEGO is a private company, which means it can choose to publish or keep secret a theme's performance, so all this hinges on a little bit of speculation. This brings us to our first suspect, Castle 2013. Consisting of 5 sets and 2 accessory packs, Castle 2013 was a pretty standard castle theme, and that may have been the exact problem. We went from the interesting and creatively designed sets of the fantasy and kingdom eras of LEGO Castle to the much more bare bones and stripped back approach to LEGO Castle in 2013. The builds from this line were incredibly simplified, blocky, and boring. Take the flagship set of the wave, the King's Castle, as an example of this. Notice how the entire castle is almost completely composed of pre-molded wall panels. It makes the whole thing feel glossy and devoid of character. This is even more jarring when compared to the King's Castle of the Kingdoms line, which has so much more character and intrigue. With sets like these, it's no wonder consumers skipped out on them. The faction designs were also considered downgrades from their predecessors, although the Red Dragon Knights have seen a bit of a retrospective resurgence of popularity. The theme also only ever included knight figures with no peasants or other factions, which really shrunk and limited the world. The only set to include interesting elements was the Dragon Mountain, which many consider the saving grace of the line. The set came with a large red dragon, a princess, and an evil wizard to flesh out the world. Castle 2013's failure can largely be attributed to its inability to forge its own identity. At a time when LEGO Castle should have been doing everything to stand out, this theme did everything in its power to blend in, leaving consumers to choose alternative themes. And there were 2 themes in particular they could have chosen, which leads me to my second suspect, LEGO Lord of the Rings and LEGO Hobbit. These 2 themes collectively ran from 2012 to 2015, and brought with them a boatload of interesting and complex sets. It's no secret, however, that this line's emphasis on medieval weaponry and fantasy elements positioned it as a direct alternative to the traditional LEGO Castle theme. This is most likely why LEGO strayed away from including fantasy elements in its Kingdoms theme in order to better differentiate itself. Even still, the Middle-earth line split the market for LEGO Castle, and with interesting locations and highly detailed figures, it was difficult for LEGO Castle to compete. Why buy the King's Castle when you could buy Helm's Deep? LEGO Lord of the Rings and LEGO Hobbit dipped into the castle market and perhaps maybe even devoured it. But this still does not explain why the castle line did not re-emerge after the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit lines were discontinued. But something else entirely came about, which brings me to my third suspect, Nexo Knights. Nexo Knights was LEGO's brand new original theme, released in late 2016 and lasting for several different waves. It was definitely an out there idea, combining knights and castle iconography with tech-based designs, but not something equivalent to a traditional castle line. Still, LEGO perhaps did not want to risk any overlap that would cut into sales, which could be why traditional castle did not return. But castle remained dormant even after Nexo Knights' run ended in 2018, so something else had to be at fault. Which brings me to my fourth suspect, license themes. It was perhaps a little unfair to single out LEGO Castle as the only theme that was killed off during this time, as we also saw the loss of many other long-running LEGO themes like space and pirates around this time. This loss can be attributed to a growing reliance on licensed themes in favor of originals LEGO began taking on from the early 2010s to the present. Over these years, LEGO has leaned heavily into partnerships with massive franchises like Star Wars, Harry Potter, Marvel, and Disney. These themes have proven to be incredibly lucrative because they come with built-in fan bases, detailed storylines, and iconic characters. Many have made the argument that Harry Potter in particular is leaving less space available for the castle market due to its own sections of Hogwarts Castle being on store shelves. This shift towards licensed themes means less room for original, evergreen lines like LEGO Castle, which could be the main reason for its sidelining. So after all this investigation, who's responsible for the death of LEGO Castle? Ultimately, the killer isn't a single subject. It's a combination of all these factors. Castle 2013 may have delivered the fatal blow with a lackluster wave, but the market conditions and LEGO's shift in strategy were what sealed LEGO Castle's fate. Despite everything, there's still hope for LEGO Castle. LEGO hasn't forgotten its roots entirely. Special releases like the Medieval Blacksmith and Lion Knight's Castle show LEGO still recognizes demand for castle-themed sets. These are high-quality, nostalgia-driven products aimed at adult fans of LEGO, but they still prove there's love for the theme. Maybe one day, LEGO Castle will rise again, not just as special releases, but as a full-fledged, modernized theme. But what do you think? Who do you think is responsible for the death of LEGO Castle? Did I miss any suspects? Let me know your theories in the comments down below. And if you like this video, consider subscribing and watching this video here where I outline 5 major problems with modern LEGO Castle.